Hi guys, my name's Jacob Tober. I'm a strength and conditioning coach here at Core Advantage. Today I want to share some simple tips and tricks to help you keep your body fresh and healthy so that you can get through the volume required to prepare for your big race. One of the biggest problems we see with our running athletes is as they're preparing for a race, they spike their volume too fast, and instead of following a smooth, gradual increase, they do this big jump when the race is getting close. Now, the best thing you can do to avoid that is just to slow down and follow a longer progression, but do it smoother. And then on top of that, add a little bit of strength training to your program to keep your body happy and healthy and better able to tolerate all the kilometers required to prepare for whatever distance it is you're going to run. The most common area of injury for a distance runner is the anterior knee. You've got all this muscle mass outside the patella, pulling it to the side, and not much with a tiny little muscle on the inside trying to keep it in. As you do more and more Ks, that patella sort of rubs and moves to the side and creates friction, making that knee grumpy and sore. The best thing you can do for grumpy knees is to start foam rolling. A lot of people foam roll, but they foam roll wrong. They go too fast or they're rolling the wrong spots. The best spots you can roll are your lateral quads and your reverse lateral quads. So Bree's going to do a lateral 3/4 quad roll, and she's going to roll all the way. Really important here, you go all the way from the knee, all the way to hip. Slow and smooth, you're searching for tight spots, so really look for anything that's tight or grumpy and give it some love, give it some attention. Now this is really going to hurt the first time you roll, but if you can do this pretty regularly, like every day, it's really going to improve quite quickly. Now from the 3/4 reverse, you're going to go up onto the ITB. We usually go 10 rolls each spot, is a pretty good number. But if you're tight, there's no problem no reason you can't do more. From the ITB over into the 3/4 forwards quad now, so hips 45 degrees down to the ground. And then from there, just going off the edge of the roller for me, Bree, you're gonna roll at the front of your quad. Now when you roll the front of your quad, do one leg at a time. If you do both, that second leg will take the load and you won't really get much out of it. And I'd like Bree up on her hands as well, so that she can get all the way from the knee to the hip, so you don't miss any spots. Once you've loosened off those tight lateral muscles, the next thing to do is strengthen up that medial kneecap anchor, the one that keeps that knee in its groove. So a knee extension, but we're only going to do an isometric hold at end range. If you do knee extensions through range of motion, that can make the knee joint even grumpier than it already was. So Bree's going to lift up with both legs, then she's going to drop one away, soften her knee to about a 10 degree, not much of a bend, then ever so slightly turn her foot and her leg externally rotate. In this position, we're really biasing that VMO, so it's working super hard. And she's just gonna hold that for about 30 seconds. Once she hits 30 seconds, she's gonna bring her other leg up, swap it over, and do the same thing on the other side. With our athletes, we get a phenomenal result for patella tracking, ITB friction syndrome, and patella tendinopathy. It strengthens that VMO and it calms that tendon down if it's irritated or grumpy. You don't have to go heavy. Bree today is doing 5 kilos, so something 5 to 10, maybe even 15 if you're a little bit stronger, but less load here is better. It's all about that time under tension for that VMO muscle. Okay, every runner's worst nightmare, shin splints. Shin splints are a product of doing too much running and doing too much volume in too big of a spike. So instead of having a smooth ramp up in running, you do a big spike in running. It causes that tibialis posterior muscle to get grumpy and become inhibited. With the seated calf isometric, you can re-engage and wake that tibialis posterior back up and stop it pulling on the bone, creating that inflammation. So Bree's going to lift the weight up, move this out of the way, just hold that position slightly above neutral for 45 seconds. When you're in this position, you want to make sure you're rolling inwards to the medial or the inside ball of your foot, just below your big toe. 45 seconds. For this one, we get amazing results. We fixed nearly everyone's shin splints within a couple of months just by doing 3 sets of 45 seconds with this guy. This last one, while it's not really an injury, it's just a niggle that a lot of runners have. So lower back or hamstring tightness, while you never really get an actual injury there, it's one of those things that sort of just lingers in the background and just sort of holds you back from running at your best and at your freshest. So what I'm going to do here is just a quick routine that you can add, and I'd like you to do this before and after every single running session, just to keep your hips loose and keep your glutes active. So Bree's going to jump down into a kneeling position, hip flexor stretch. So up tall with your knees at 90 degrees, Bree's going to tuck her butt backwards and poke it out. Then she's going to posteriorly tilt and tuck her butt under, squeezing her left glute cheek, engaging her core, and then gently leaning forwards into the stretch. Now, you don't want to go too far, don't arch the back, just go far enough until you can feel that stretch at the front of the hip. This will loosen off your psoas, which is kind of the muscle that shuts off your glutes and pulls your pelvis forwards, shortening up your running gait and also pulling on your lower back. 30 seconds each side, swap legs, and do the same thing on the other side. So once you've loosened up your hip flexor, the next stage, pass me that stuff, Bree, is to do your glute activation. So lying on your belly, with your chin on your fingers, you're gonna relax your lower back, and what you wanna do is just wake your glutes up. Gluteus maximus, the biggest muscle in your body, we just wanna do some squeezes. So left side, right side, and just get that glute to wake up and get it to fire. We do 5 each side, then you wanna do a glute lift. So squeeze the glute and lift the leg into the air. Just a little bit, not too high off the ground. And then we wanna do, again, 5 of those each side. And then the last exercise in the routine, Bree, roll onto your back for me, is a glute bridge. So squeezes, then glute lifts, then the last one is a glute bridge. So heels in close to your butt, feet hip width apart, then you're gonna squeeze your hips, or squeeze your glutes, sorry, and lift your hips high to the roof. Hold for a second, back down. Just go 10 of those to really wake and fire those glutes up. So there you have it, 3 simple tricks for 3 common problems. If you do, however, get injured or have a problem, it's best to seek some professional advice. So go see a physio, run these exercises by them to make sure they're okay with you doing them. Good luck for the race, and hopefully you can stay injury-free in your preparation.